That is massive.
What is up, YouTube? It's Outta-class Outdoors. Today's video, as you can tell, we're going out to La Jolla and we're targeting some massive yellowtail. This was a crazy day on the water. There was a ton of action, but it was very, very finicky fish. So I'll go ahead and show you how we were able to make it happen for this massive yellowtail that is my new PB. So as we headed out to the deeper water to start making bait, we started running into schools of smaller schools of breezing yellowtail. So we could see them on the surface. And usually when you're in La Jolla, at least in my past experience, when I see fish on the surface and I throw an iron in there, I tend to get bit. So this was an interesting day for us because as you can see, I throw the iron out there, bringing it back. I had a couple followers, but the fish were being extremely finicky today. But had to keep trying everything we can. And we keep throwing the iron. This school didn't want to bite, so I went out and I was able to spot another school. Same thing, got the iron out, launched the iron. Again, cranking it in, and they did not seem interested in anything that we were throwing at them. They were ignoring the irons, but we kept persistent. We kept looking around trying to find a school because all it takes is one bite to make an amazing day on the water. So eventually, I run into the last school and I think, all right, let's try something different. I'm gonna paddle straight up on them because they weren't shy of kayaks at all. And I'm gonna toss a live one. You can see I toss a live bait out. And again, nothing wants to play. And we can see the tails of these things. They're a little out of range of the GoPro. Really? But you could tell right away, these are some good sized California yellowtail. Here we go, second attempt. And this is a good sized mackerel, so he starts swimming a little bit. And then eventually I get to see my arms blocking it, but I watch him come up and he slams it. So I had to try something new, but I was able to get a bite by being persistent, looking around and looking for these schools of yellowtail on the surface. If you weren't paying attention, you probably weren't going to get bit today. And there we go, massive yellowtail on.
Yep, live bait. Get up to him. Go catch that group.
So this yellowtail was giving me the work. Big, and he was pulling real good. He kept digging for the bottom. Luckily we were out pretty deep, so there was nothing really to wrap me up on. I was taking it slow and steady and keep grinding on him. Eventually you'll get some yards. But in the beginning he was pulling a ton of drag. After a few minutes of grinding on this thing, I could see him start to come up and I could see him on the fish finder getting close.
It's like 10 feet out.
See, I start getting ready to gaff this thing. This is,
yep, that's
once
a big
I
one.
see it, I realize this is a huge fish. Oh, there he is. And this is where one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me in a yellowtail fight happens. I go to gaff, he hits. I don't know what happened, but I hit the lever on the reel to disengage the drag, so I thought I broke him off.
The drag.
But it gave him a little second wind. He was a little too green when I got him up.
That was close.
And he headed back down towards the bottom. So I had to resume the fight.
It's big. It's my PB, I think.
He didn't get that much line, but that was pretty nuts. I really thought I lost him.
Yeah, this isn't my
I don't know what hit the reel, but something did.
It's huge, dude. Yeah. I thought he, I thought he came up dead.
Panicked a little. My gaff shots were not the cleanest.
This is impressive.
Not at all.
Oh my gosh. That is massive. That is huge, dude. That is a monster. I'm sorry, Braden. Holy. No way.
All right, so when I weighed this thing, he was a little over 30 pounds, about 31, 32, but I weighed it about 5 hours later. So I had bled it out and took it home. Weighed it when I got home, but he was about 42 inches, really girthy, fought like crazy, and it was an amazing experience. But when you're out there, you got to make sure you're looking at the surface. There is going to be action somewhere. That day there were birds going crazy, but the yellowtail weren't really going off yet. I feel like later in the day when the sun came out, they might have gone a little crazy, but they just were kind of cruising. They weren't really hitting anything on the surface. They were just kind of cruising around. And later in the day, it might have gone, but we didn't get to stay to see that. So I was riding the Hobie Outback. I had an Avid MXJ on a 7-foot PCH custom if you wanted to see what I was using. And then my surface iron setup was Alexa 400 on an 8-foot Okuma SCTI. But I had an amazing day on the water. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe.